I'm back with part two of what if Asta had Earth magic. So, where did I leave last off? Asta had just been accepted into the Black Bulls, so I'm just going to carry on from there. So, Finral teleports Yami, Asta, and I think Gordon back to the Black Bulls hideout, and Asta, uh, Asta, Asta, I think it's don't know. I'm gonna say Asta. No, Asta. Okay, right, man. Anyway, so he arrives to the. Excitedly, he runs up to the door, basically in seeing everyone. To see everyone from the back bulls, and he sees Magna and Luck fighting. But in canon, Yami is the one that gets everybody's attention. But Asta's shouting, he's letting off, like, unintentionally. He's letting off mana, so like everybody stops to see Asta's aura. So in that moment, Asta like introduces himself again because no one here. They were all distracted about the mana. So he he introduces himself again, and they all introduce each other. Yami's surprised that the Black Bulls actually stopped without him intervening. But Magna does ask to do the trial by fire with Asta. So the first is the physical test. I think it's like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and like run or something. So Asta does that easily, like in canon. And then in the magic part, Magna first shoots off like little balls of fire with his bat at Asta, but I keep going through Asta and Asta. Asta, don't mind it, just accept it. Like, okay. So anyway, Asta blocks the fireball with Pebble Shot, as I said in the last video. Actually, I'm going to go through all his spells again. Let me think. Right, he's got Pillar. Right now he's got Pillar, Bind, Pebble Shot, Compression, and Gravity Wall, and the healing spell, Gaia's Love. And he's going to get another one in this episode. So where was I? I was saying he was blocking the fireballs with Pebble Shot. So this gets Magna riled up, and he uses the most powerful spell. I'm not sure what it's called. Is it like Scatter Shot? No. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like a massive fire line of magic shoots straight at Asta. Finral is about to open a portal to save Asta, but Yami. Yeah. But Yami says not to do this, as he just says he'll be fine, as he sees Asta casting his spell. Asta shouts "Gravity Wall" as the flames are like stopped in their tracks and like dispersed. You know, like when something hits like a water balloon. Yeah, like a water balloon, it just splashes out, so it reflects a bit. So it just stops the spell completely, like not even like pushing the wall back or Asta back, so he's fine. This spell impresses Magna, Yami, and Finral, and so everybody's celebrating, and he gets his headband and robes from Vanessa, as he's shown to his room, and he's excited because he didn't have a room by himself, like at all, when he was in the church, because he was with Yuno and the other kids. So the next day, Asta's given a tour of the base and shown the tasks he has to do. He's also shown Yami's pets, but the pets in canon where they try to eat Asta every time are actually respect, or I'm not sure if they fear or respect Yami. Or maybe it's both. I'm not sure. Maybe it's both. So anyway, they have the same respect like as for Yami with Asta. Like they probably see him as a mini Yami. So this actually surprises Magna as well, because like he used to do the job and he used to nearly get eaten all the time. So next they go outside and they see Noel. They bump into Noel, and Asta goes up to shake her hand. She doesn't shake his hand. Like looks at it, and she doesn't slap it, but she doesn't shake it either. She like just stares at him stares at him and is shocked about how much mana he has, like more than her. I think has more than her, possibly, because I'm going off mana, but like they're gonna be same. So I'm just gonna say and Asta have more than Noel. So she asks Asta which noble or royal house he's from, because she's never seen him before, and Asta says, "I'm what you call a commoner," and this shocks her, and then she acts the same as in canon, reacting like, "How dare you try and shake a noble's hand," and all of that. So as she tries to hit Asta with a water ball, it hits Magna, and they start saying that you shouldn't be doing that. We're all Black Bulls here. It doesn't matter about royalty. But she just walks off after that, saying she's gonna quit. So the next day, I think it's the next day. Pretty sure it's the next day. Anyway, the next day, Asta goes out to try and find the toilet like in canon, but he is nearly hit by a water ball from Noel, and he goes to investigate. He sees Noel practicing as she starts remembering all the times that she's been ridiculed for her lack of control by all the royals and their family. And this is when Nero moves the bushes and alerts Noel to Asta's presence. Thinking he is the same as the other royals and nobles, she tries to shoot a massive spell at Asta to get him away, but it backfires. So this mass and the spell goes out of control, and this like mana, Siege mana wakes everybody up and alerts all the Black Bulls. Yami tells Finral they all meet up outside, and Yami tells Finral to go up and save it. But but Finral's like too scared to go, and he says, "I don't want to die." So Yami thinks for a second, and then asks Asta, "Your magic uses gravity, right?" And then Asta says yes. Yami just quickly replies then, saying, "Use one of them to draw the water away." Asta is thinking about this, thinking of something, and says he doesn't have a spell for that. And then Yami says, "You have 3 seconds before you die to think of something." So in this panic, a new spell appears, and it's called Black Hole, and it's similar to Yami's. But unlike Yami's, which only absorbs the mana, he will eventually be able to like use the gravitation, it's like sort of like the solar system, use the gravitation to like either absorb or rotate it around and chuck it back faster at the person that threw the spell or cast the spell. So, but it can absorb like Yami as well. So Asta asks Finral to get him closer, which he does, and Asta produces the black hole near Noel's bubble of water. This draws all the water in, making the water, the mana, the spell dispersed into it. But since Asta is a new spell, it dispersed before, like the spell goes away before all of the water can go, so everybody's drenched. So the water soaks everybody, and Noel is catched by Finral, or what? No, catched by Asta. Yeah, catched by Asta, and she expects to be laughed at and ridiculed again for not having any control. But everyone's like, should have just told us you couldn't control your magic. And this is when Asta compliments her magic, and she blushes, her magic power, and she says she'll stay. So I think it's like a couple of days later, the day of the village attack. I'm not sure what it's called. What's the village called? Nah, I can't think of what the village is called. But you know, if you're this far into the video, then you know what village, because you've already watched Black Clover. So anyway, that village attack happens, and Asta, Noel, and Magna have to go and kill Boars, as Yami and Magna lost to the old village chief. I think they're called village chief, village mayor, same difference. Anyway, Asta offers to fly Noel as she can't use her magic, which makes her blush, but she does say in her like tsundere thing that this is a real honor for you, and you should be so happy that I'm letting you do this, as Asta's not even paying attention to it. So they fly over to the forest. And I got scripting, so that's all the noise. The hunt happens much faster as Magna has got way more mana now, because he doesn't have to carry 2 people on his broom. So the way this works is Noelle can't do anything because she can't control her magic, but Asta and Magna team up, and they use Asta uses compression, and Magna uses fireballs to capture and then roast the boars. So with the boars with them, they head to the village and see the mist surrounding seeing the mist surrounding the village. This makes them go high alert as they go and see what's happening. They come into the village and see the village chief about to be stabbed by ice, but Magna shoots a fireball at him. The ice mage complains this is going to make him late because he had like that watch and he's like obsessed with time. So then he says for his men to attack with ice, and like to attack the people as well. Asta and Magna are defending at first, and they're like telling Noelle like we're gonna need you need to cover the citizens, or else we can't attack, we'll just be pinned. So she's thinking of like running off. Like I think she thinks of that in canon, like saying royalty shouldn't be stuck there before like a little girl or boy asks, you're gonna protect us, right? And this is where she gets the spell comes up. Water. Is it Sea Dragon? Sea Dragon's Cage? That's what it's called now. If it's not, but it's called Sea Dragon's Cage now. That's it, and she produces that. Asta and Magna immediately see this, and they go into attack because they know like they're protected now. So they do the same as they did with the boars, except like they don't roast the people alive. Asta uses compression and sometimes a mixture of compression and pillars and bind, like using the 3 basically. You 2 captures and the 1 attack. So that's defensive spell to pin or knock out an enemy, or knock an enemy out, whilst Magna is hitting the people who were hit by compression, because like Asta's like fatigued, so we can't knock him out immediately because that takes a lot of mana out of him. Like he's got it soon, but physically he's tired as well. So like physically and mentally, so he can't use as much mana. I think that's how it works. So like Magna just finishes him off, knocking him out. So once the cage is up, they easily capture all of them, and the ice mage is tied up. As Magna says they're going to be questioned, but before they could do any of that, the ice dude, I don't know his name, the ice boy, uses a magic item on him and the crew, which kills him. Freezes them, shatters them into pieces. Asta, none of the Black Bulls could react, so this angers and annoys all of Magna and Asta. But like Noelle's like happy she actually got spells she can control. Now the chief is grateful for the Black Bulls' help, and says Magna is now becoming a man. Like, he doesn't die in this. He's a little bit injured, but doesn't die. So Nero finds the magic stone that the Eye of the Midnight Sun's looking for, and the chief says that it's a gift from the village to you to the Black Bulls for saving the village. So they head back to the base, and Yami hands them their reward. I think it's like 200. I'm not sure if it's 200,000. God, the start of the anime is a long time ago. 200,000, 200 coins. I don't know. One of them. Anyway, so he's like, Asta's shocked with the amount of money he's got, and he was like about to give all of it to the village in the church in Hajj, but Vanessa says she should keep some for shopping, for when he goes shopping, and says to Noel that they can find something to help you with your magic, like a wand. So Asta writes the letter home, saying he's like happy with all the Black Bulls, and that they stopped with his villain, but like he describes how annoyed he is that he couldn't stop him from like shattering, but he's like wishes him well and all of that. So I'm gonna leave this video here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this video here and then carry on tomorrow. So tomorrow is gonna be the Wizard King's dungeon quest. Maybe go into the reward ceremony, I think, because, yeah, alright, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.